you know that in first-person survival horror game Nightmare of Decay, your first encounter with a zombie looks like this? So this encounter is of course a reference to the first zombie you come face to face with in the original Resident Evil. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Video Game Easter Eggs, the series where we cover some of the best Easter eggs found in video games. As always, if you think you know of a video game Easter egg that I'm yet to cover, then let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to check it out. Oh, and before we get started, I'd like to thank Acer and Xbox Game Pass for sponsoring today's video. Now, I want you to cast your mind back to being a child. Unless you were really lucky, you didn't have a lot of money to spend on games. Maybe you picked up 1 or 2 new releases a year, but you had to make those last. Well, imagine being that same child and being told that there was something called Xbox Game Pass, which lets you play hundreds of games for the price of a takeaway pizza. Now imagine that you've bought a new laptop and that same laptop is not only equipped with a 12th gen Intel Core i7 processor and an RTX 3070 Ti, but also comes with a free month of Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, your little mind would have been blown. Well, that's what you get when you buy the awesome Acer Nitro 5 laptop. After setting up your new machine, you can head straight to the dedicated Xbox app and start downloading games. Games like the Eggcellent Hi-Fi Rush, which is probably my game of the year so far, or the over-the-top gorefest that is Shadow Warrior 3 Definitive Edition. There really is something for everyone on Game Pass, and they all play fantastically on the Acer Nitro 5. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to check out the Acer Nitro 5 laptop today. And with the included 1 month of free Game Pass, I doubt you'll ever be bored again. Once again, a big thank you to Acer and Xbox Game Pass for sponsoring today's video, and without further delay, let's get started. So the first Easter egg for today's video almost certainly isn't an Easter egg. Let me explain. In episode 94 of this series, we found a tribute to Hagrid actor Robbie Coltrane, who sadly passed away in 2022. I then said that I expected to find more tributes to the stars of the films. I even mentioned Professor Snape by name. It was at this point that loads of you commented that you could actually find a reference to Snape in the Room of Requirement. So I went and had a look, and this is what I found.
Dear me. Can't you keep it down? Some of us are trying to rest.
Now, loads of people believe that this is Professor Snape, but to be honest, I'm not so sure. If we zoom in on the creepy Jack-in-the-Box, I think that what first appears to be Snape's signature black hair is in fact a hood, as if you look closely, you can actually see grey hair. I mean, this is just my opinion, and some of you may have spotted something that I didn't, so as always, leave your theories down below. Right, this next game is the very definition of an Easter egg hunter's paradise. The Wardrobe is a point-and-click adventure game that released on PC in 2017. Now, usually, I'd explain a little bit about the game and give you my opinion on it whilst gameplay is shown in the background. The thing is, there are so many Easter eggs and references to find in the Wardrobe that finding gameplay that doesn't have references to something is near on impossible. That's why today I'm going to try something different. Here is a scene from the Wardrobe. I want you to name as many references that you can spot as possible. Whoever is able to find the most references will earn themselves a pinned comment. Good luck. Next up is the Eggcellent Ghost of Tsushima. Now, Sony have sort of become the Marvel of the video game industry. And no, it's not because of the flashy logo that celebrates all of their awesome games. What I mean is, every single Sony exclusive seems to reference another Sony exclusive, as if they're all tied into the same extended universe. For proof of this, look no further than this tree. So buried into this tree is an axe, along with a glowing yellow handprint. This is of course a reference to God of War 2018, where the same yellow handprint could be seen. That's not all though. If you bow at the nearby shrine whilst wearing the Sakai clan armour, this will happen. So bowing at the shrine with the Sakai armor equipped will unlock this awesome God of War themed armor. Oh, and that's not the only reference to a PlayStation game that can be found in the DLC. If you head to this location on the map, you can find this. So this cave painting is a reference to the seemingly forgotten Sly Cooper series that is in desperate need of a new release. Next up is Battlefield 2042. Now, some of you may remember an Easter egg that we found all the way back in episode 60 of this series, where we discovered a pair of shoes on top of a skyscraper. Well, that same Easter egg can be found in the recently released Flashpoint map. If you climb to the top of the crane, you can find this. Now, I'm sure that most of you know who these shoes belong to, but for those of you who don't, these are the shoes of Mirror's Edge protagonist, Faith Connors. This Easter egg seems to be a favourite of the Battlefield devs, as Faith shoes could also be found in the brilliant Battlefield 3. Up next is the Easter egg-packed Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem. Now, the Serious Sam games have always had really cool Easter eggs, and of course Siberian Mayhem is no different. But this next Easter egg might just be the coolest of them all. During the roadside picnic level, you can find a guitar that can be interacted with, and if you interact with it enough, this will happen. So the guitar god in the sky is actually video game composer Damjam Ravunak, who has worked on the Serious Sam franchise since the very beginning. Right, let's end today's video with Echoes of the Living. Echoes of the Living is a classic survival horror game inspired by the early Resident Evil titles. As someone who grew up on those games, I really enjoyed playing Echoes of the Living. It has that whole challenging but fair vibe going for it, which probably explains why I'm limping for most of the background gameplay. But it's also worth mentioning that I've only played the demo, which is still available on Steam. Now, the comparisons to the OG Resident Evil games are obvious, perhaps in some ways a little too obvious. But the Easter egg that we're interested in references another PlayStation classic. Around halfway through the demo, you can find this. So this zombie is an obvious reference to Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series. I think it's safe to say that Lara has definitely seen better days. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is super appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in video games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.